I
Um,
appreciate you having me on, Josh. Thank you.
for joining me. Thank you. Well, last year, billed 537,000. He's on track this year to break the 600,000 barrier. Uh, Incredibly impressive, Mo, considering you only recently celebrated 3 years in recruitment.
Yep.
And yet you carry yourself as a seasoned recruiter.
Well, appreciate that. Yeah. It's been an exciting journey, I guess.
Very fast. I mean, I've had the pleasure of being involved in and working with you and your team for about the last 12 months. And I've seen at first hand that you come in, you're passionate, you're committed, and you bring humour to the day. So we'd love to see a bit more of that this morning, although it's early. But yes, welcome to the Top Billers. Got a number of questions for you, Mo. Mo works at Raw Selection. Let's talk about your big biller backstory, because although it's short, as in the time you've been doing this, it's incredibly impressive. What would you say has been your light bulb moment when you realised that actually I'm good at this?
I'd probably say a year into the role, but I have to give credit to Alex and Jack as well for the amount of kind of development and investment that they gave me. But I think a year into the role, when things finally started to pay off, I think for the first year or so, it was, you get things to late stages and things just kept falling through, and I was like, you get to a point where you're like, is this really for me? But yeah, having the support of, I think, Jack and Alex in the beginning was really, really beneficial for me of building my resilience, which is a big key part of recruitment, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of us who have witnessed that ourselves, whereby resilience is what keeps you going. And there's those times where things don't quite work out the way we wanted, and the recruitment gods haven't been kind to us. And it's about picking ourselves back up and going again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just to add to that as well, I'd say it was about after a year that I'd kind of figured out what industry I wanted to go into and what space I wanted to work on and what space I wanted to build. So, and once I started building kind of my candidate base and having successful conversations, I don't think I did a placement in my specific specialist industry till about a year and a half in, but
Okay.
just those successful conversations and building those relationships probably a year in is when I thought, okay, I think this can get somewhere.
Yeah. And when it comes to working with your clients, how much repeat business would you say there is?
So I've got about 4 clients that give me repeat business.
Okay.
I've had at least 2 or 3 plus retained searches from all 4 of these clients, and we're still working today. So
Yeah, good. In order to establish and keep those relationships, what are you doing?
I think understanding. I think a lot of people kind of forget that they need to be specialists in their industry and really understand and learn your industry, because it just helps you to showcase obviously your specialism and your knowledge of the space, but also allows you to consult with your clients. So seeing it as a partnership rather than just chasing a fee is one
Yeah.
thing I'd probably mention. Understanding your client's business, understanding what they're looking for, and kind of questioning them to go into more detail about, and for them to even understand throughout the process of them speaking to you what it is actually that they need for them to be successful. I think that's really useful. And then I think just going in with a really honest approach um, rather than trying to get a deal over the line
Yeah.
is really important. There's been multiple times where like we've had candidates at final stages, but there's certain things that I've been unsure about, which I've been clear and transparent to clients about, rather than just wanting to get that deal done.
Yeah, fair
Which
enough.
I
So
think
there's
I think they appreciate in the long term as well.
a massive trust build as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you say your secret sauce is to high performance?
I don't think there's a great deal of secret sauce to high performance in recruitment. I think it's just hard work and self-development. I know Alex Rawlings, founder of Raw Selection, preaches that recruitment's 99% mindset, and I completely agree. 1% skill. I think if you put the hard work in and you develop yourself every day, and you're in the right mindset, then I think you can achieve anything within recruitment. I don't think there's a special secret sauce that you need.
Yeah, I love that. I know from being in your office that you have almost a library, shall we say, of self-development-esque books.
Yeah.
Anything that you've taken off that shelf recently?
Oh, loads. I'm currently reading two. I've got two on my desk that Alex is pestering me to see when I'm going to finish them. So I think it's good pressure to have as well, because it's always about kind of improving where you think you need to improve, and if you're becoming better every day, it just helps with the whole aspect of recruitment and the understanding of the role and the understanding of your clients. I'm currently reading a book about the talent fix, but reading it from a client perspective.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
so understanding what my clients are going through and how important the right hire is for them.
Good. And what's your other one?
Your Next Five Moves by Patrick Bet-David, which
Oh
is
yeah.
more about
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah, he's a good podcast as well. If you were to look back at your rookie self, what would you say? What would you say to Mo from early days in year one?
I think work hard. I don't think I was a hard worker in the beginning,
Okay.
and I didn't understand the importance of self-development early on as well. So work hard and improve yourself and do what you're told to do, and more is probably what I tell myself. I see it from a kind of a management perspective now, where you kind of set tasks for you people within recruitment, and it's like if you just do what we're telling you to do,
Mm-hmm.
like this is the recipe for success. This is what's worked previously for
Yeah.
everybody else. So just do it. Um, and so yeah, but pretty much the same message to myself, I guess.
Yeah, and also having a team that you need to lead by example, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, going back to Alex and Jack, I don't think if I didn't join Raw Selection, I would definitely not be where I am today.
Okay. Yeah, good support around you.
Yeah.
To process and performance, what would you say? Walk us through a typical day.
Uh, it's difficult. Every day is different, but kind of mornings start with receiving or delivering training, self-development. So I'll read some books, listen to some podcasts in the morning, do some training, deliver training, and then admin stuff really in the morning, kind of replying to emails from the night before, working through kind of setting a to-do list of what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, planning out my day, getting out some targeted emails. We do a lot of candidate kind of led approach on business development, so we can get our targeted emails done in the morning, but everything we do is in the States, so they're all asleep in the morning, so it's a good time for us to kind of build and get through that. And then I think post that, it's kind of majority of the afternoon is kind of booked out with calls, because that's when the States are waking up. So
Mhm.
1, 2 p.m. onwards is trying to get on the phones and either get through current processes that I've got, candidate feedback, client feedback, next steps, or any new business development calls that I have booked in. And then also kind of just catching up with candidates that I've got in processes, or even if candidates that I've recently interviewed that are open to new opportunities, just continue to build relationships with those guys too. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, good. So a lot of your candidates are also your clients at that level,
Yeah,
aren't they? Yeah,
yeah. It's because we do a lot of C-suite stuff. We can flip a lot of our candidates into clients as well, which is always
yeah.
a good opportunity for more business.
Well, speaking of business, what's your client development strategy?
So yeah, candidate-led approach. We reach out with good quality candidates, build a relationship, and fill their positions with actual good people, and not just chase a fee, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
Over communicate with the client throughout the process. Even kind of once we've once we've agreed on working on a retained search, just over communicating with them of what we've done so far. If we've not shared any candidates, this is kind of what we're doing currently. So making sure that they're aware, because it's likely that if they've got a missing team member, it's causing them problems. So they're probably going to sign a retainer and a week later think, well, what the hell's Mo doing? Why have we not got anybody yet? So just making sure that you're communicating with them throughout the process, and they're confident enough that you get that you know what you're doing, and that you'll fill the position for them.
Good. And I know you've got a number of roles on when I was in there last week. How do you manage your pipeline of business?
I think I don't think there's a fixed way of doing this, but I like to kind of prioritize things that are closest to the fee. So anything that's kind of at later stages, I'll prioritize over things that are a bit early on, but making sure that I still get through everything. It's difficult to manage when you're kind of juggling multiple searches, but kind of making sure that you've got a well laid out plan of who's going where and your CRM's all up to date as well is really useful.
Yeah, what CRM do you use?
Salesforce.
Salesforce.
Yeah, classic is for me, not Lightning.
What's your relationship with Salesforce? If it were to be if it's the human, how would your relationship be described?
Gosh, I'd say reliable sometimes. When it needs to be, majority of the times. There's been times where it's crashed on me after a full interview, which isn't great. So, but yeah, I'd say it's mostly reliable.
Okay, needs looking after then,
hey? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Let's talk about some deals then, and disasters and drama. What's the biggest deal you've done, and how, or what did you blow the commission on?
Biggest deal I've done, 120K.
Okay.
What did I spend the commission on? I think I actually spent it on a very expensive trip to Mauritius earlier this year, actually. Yeah. Nothing overly exciting, I guess, but a trip to Mauritius.
That sounds exciting.
It was insane. It was incredible.
Good. What horror stories have you dealing with clients? Give us one of your worst.
We had a very large kind of business, $800 million business that was looking for a chief operating officer that we had somebody in the process for. I think you were quite involved in some of this, Josh, with listening to some of the calls and stuff. But went through to late stages. They'd flown him out, met him in person, and they'd done all the assessments. It was going to be like a 300K deal. You get into the exciting stage, and then they've done reference and background checks and figured out that he's lied about his career on his CV, which wasn't great. And they'd found out that he wasn't actually at the business that he said he was, and he wasn't there for very long, and his job title wasn't what he said it was at that business either. So I think client and candidate horror story, because I don't think that client will ever want to see profiles from us again. So that's a shame, but
that's a tricky one, because I remember that because he claimed he was currently working, you didn't want to take a reference from his current employer.
Yeah,
understandably, but he wasn't actually there, was he? So he's just making it up.
And like throughout the whole process, he was like, because it was basically a direct competitor that he'd be going to, and he was like, if my current company find out where I'm going, it's not going to be a good thing. But there was no current company to find out anything. So but it's all part of recruitment. I'm sure there's other people that have had worse horror stories out there. I don't think it's too bad. You kind of just pick yourself up and go again. So
and not work with that candidate again.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of candidates, what's the weirdest excuse the candidate's given for not turning up for interview or taking an important call?
I've not had like a really, really bad excuse. I have had people just ghost me. So I had somebody that was supposed to turn up to I was actually supposed to fly out to a final stage interview, meet with the executive leadership team, so the CEO, CFO, COO, and he just didn't fly out, and then completely ignored me. Everybody within that organization was at one location, and the candidate just didn't turn up, which was horrible. It was probably one of the worst things ever, because the client's calling me asking me why the candidate's not turned up, and I'm trying to get through to the candidate, and
No
there's
idea.
just no
Yeah,
response.
yeah. And you probably spoke to them probably the day before.
Yeah,
Confirmed,
yeah,
booked the
yeah.
ticket
Spoke to
and
the
all that.
candidate the day before. He was like, "Yep, he's all good to go," and then just completely ignored me. I think he was using he never ever got back to me. I think he was using the process to basically go in and ask for a pay rise.
Their eyes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. It does happen, unfortunately, doesn't it?
yeah. But again, probably not the worst excuse that somebody's heard. I'm sure there's some crazy ones out there.
Yeah, I've seen some classics recently. Let's move on to mindset and motivation.
hmm
How do you handle rejection, and what's your personal bounce back strategy?
I don't really think about rejection. I think there's just so many people out there to work with me that if one person says no or tells me to piss off, or I don't really think about it. It doesn't really phase me, but you kind of build that mentality as you build experience in recruitment anyway. Um, like it gets to a point where you just on to the next one.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think as you progress in recruitment, it's something you build.
yeah, fair enough. What would you say your approach is when you're in a slump or your mojo's gone AWOL?
I'd probably say I think going back to reminding myself of why I want to be, or what the reason is that I've set myself to
Mhm.
be where I am today, and what I want to achieve, and then going back to the pain of not achieving that goal.
Yeah, fair enough. Pain,
Uh,
pain versus pleasure again, eh?
yeah. I think it's something that Alex has drilled into me, but it takes a while for the penny to drop on that one. But I think once it does, and you can really understand kind of if things don't work out, how shit that feeling would be, then I think that's enough of a motivator for anybody to work hard and want to be successful.
You want to probably go back to Mauritius. What keeps Mo striving away, doing the same thing every day, being consistent, being high performer? What is that? What makes you do it?
I think again, credit to Alex. Going back to Alex, the way Alex has kind of worked with us on our personal goals, and a reminder of our personal goals, but also the pain of not achieving your goal, and what that's going to make you feel like is what
Mhm.
really hits home for me. I think everybody will do more for pain than they would for pleasure,
Yeah,
and having the mindset of kind of just achieving a goal is seen as pleasure, whereas having the mindset of if I don't achieve that goal, the issues that it's going to cause me is more painful,
okay.
and I think that's really useful for me.
Yeah, so the driver is pain in not being successful and not achieving, as opposed to the pleasure of
Of
hitting
achieving.
everything.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. You celebrated 3 years quite recently in recruitment with the same
Mhm.
business at Raw Selection. How do you avoid burnout? Because the kind of hours that you're doing, the input that you have, the team that you're running, how do you avoid that in such a high
Um,
role?
I probably don't. I just I
Mauritius
just
holidays.
Yeah, I work hard because I have strong goals that I want to achieve, but I do, I just don't really think about burnouts, but I do love a good holiday. So, yeah, and I do spend a lot on holidays as well, which is a very bad habit of mine. I like nice hotels and kind of nice areas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably just say go to Mauritius.
More often and get Alex
Yeah.
to chip in,
Yeah.
eh? Tools of the trade, what would you say tools or tech have actually helped you build more?
I think one of the main ones for me was Efficiency AI. It's a resume formatter that one of my friends has built, which I think is such an amazing product. I think it formats a CV for you within 2 minutes, the exact format of how you want it, the information, or whatever information you want within the formatter. So I think that's been really useful. It kind of saves us time. Um, so efficiency AI definitely. I'd say Octopus CRM has been good for kind of automation work across LinkedIn as well. So sending connection messages out in kind of bulk, especially when you've got a role on or you're trying to generate some candidates in a specific space. But other than that, I think everything else is kind of built into Salesforce for us to make our lives easier. We've got a transcript on the call system that we use as well, so that's really useful. But again, it's all kind of built into some of the stuff that we do.
Yeah, saves then typing the notes up or not listening properly because you are typing notes at the time.
Yeah.
Any hacks that you can share for time management?
Plan your day in the morning and stick to your plan as much as you can, really. I know that you never kind of finish off everything you plan to do in a day because other things end up taking priority. But yeah, just plan and structure what you're planning to do throughout the day.
Yeah, and having that, being strict with yourself and sticking to it rather than letting something, as Alex would say, the red dress, he calls it, doesn't he?
Woman in the red dress. Yeah.
Takes your eye off what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And I think just kind of using one calendar for everything. So even setting out your your morning routine of you're going to go through emails at this time. You're going to do targeted emails for this amount of time. You're going to do whatever else is part of your day for X amount of time and kind of stick to that and get as much as you can done in that period.
Good. One final question before we open up to the audience here. Mm-hmm. What's one skill every recruiter should actually master in 2025?
Learning to understand your client's pain and problems. I know that's something that's ongoing that you work on with us as well, Josh. And I'd say understanding your space, your sector, your niche sector, to the point where you can speak about it to clients and sound like a real expert in the space. And then also when you're having calls with clients, understanding your client's business, and like really understanding the kind of the culture of the organization, what they're looking for the culture to be, where they want to grow to, what their growth plans are, and understanding the pain and problems of them not really achieving the goals that they want to achieve, and if they don't have the right person in place, how that's going to affect the business.
Good, lovely, thank you. I'll open up to our audience if you have any questions for Mo.
Mo, thanks for that. Just out of interest, how many assignments do you feel comfortable managing at any one time?
I've currently managing 6 retained searches, and I've pitched for 2 more, so just as many as I can get, really. No kind of fixed structure. Obviously, we run a 180 model, so we have a research team that do the candidate sourcing and the candidate generation. So for me, it's kind of just managing processes, running candidates through interview stages, feedback, and getting them kind of through the negotiation phase and finalizing the deal. So as many as I can, but the most I've done is 8 previously.
Yeah. Thank you.
You mentioned that you have like a resourcing team that will find candidates for you, or like it's a 180 kind of thing, and then you will take them through the process. How does that typically work with your resource team? Are they like in-house? Do you give them a brief? Do they go away and find them? Then do you vet the candidates? What's kind of the process with that?
Yeah, so they are in-house. I think there's a couple on here as well, actually, and they're just real superstars. They are like I said, Alex has built the business to the point where kind of we're all aligned on what everybody wants to achieve and what everyone wants to do to be successful and the goals that everybody has. So we see it as a partnership. And yeah, so they'll vet the candidates. I'll probably call the candidates before we submit them just to ask a few more questions and double check all the information is correct. And then yeah, we'll sit down once we have a search and we'll run through it together. We'll try and get them on search take on calls as well, so they can hear it firsthand from the client if they have availability. If not, we'll just work on it as a partnership, and we'll kind of most of the industries that we work in, the research team have worked across the industries, so they're kind of the real superheroes. They know all the different industries, whereas we only need to learn one. So
True.
credit to them.
Yeah, fair play.
So if you would calculate the ratio between your pitches and your won projects, what would be the ratio?
My ratio is actually really low, and Alex, he had a conversation with me the other day to tell me that I need to pitch more, because I'm at a point where I'm getting a lot of repeat business. So my ratio is like if I pitch a retainer to a client that I've already worked with, they're gonna go ahead and sign. So my ratio is really good, but it needs to be at a point where I need to pitch more and miss out on some opportunities. And ideally, I think we want to get it from 3 retainers pitched to at least 1 retainer signed. So
Okay, so it's like 33%.
yeah, that's not what my ratio is, but that's where we want to get it to. So it just means that you're pitching more business.
The replacement guarantee that you guys are proposing to clients is?
Yeah, so it depends what model they work on us with, but it's either 6 months. Some clients will try and negotiate that to 12 months, and usually we're happy to do that because we're quite confident in the candidates that we end up placing with our clients.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Orel. Thank you, Mo. Thanks
Well,
for your
thank you very
time.
much for having me, Josh. That was really useful.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that as well.
You've been a star, as well as the people that find the candidates for you, also the stars. There's good recognition there from you. And thanks very much. You're the first in the series, so I'm sure we'll continue in the right way. Thanks
Absolutely.
very much.
I'd be happy to come back.
I would love to have you back. Thank you. Cheers, Mo.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thanks,
See you later,
everybody.
guys.